championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021. Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world.
Oh my God!
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion!
Can Max Verstappen become Lewis Hamilton 2.0?
Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton dueling, going into turn one. Verstappen on the inside, they're going wheel to wheel. Fernando.
He's already doing everything that Lewis did on the track with 3 consecutive championships, breaking records and dominating the grid completely. But let's talk about what Lewis Hamilton actually is beyond just being a driver. Lewis is the guy sitting front row at Paris Fashion Week in custom Burberry, walking the Met Gala red carpet and holding a knighthood from the Queen. He's built sustainable fashion lines, won 7 world championships, and he's been named in the Times 100 most influential people. Lewis has built a brand that transcends motorsport entirely. Now picture this: Max Verstappen, Red Bull Polo, sim racing setup, and his cats. While Lewis built an empire beyond the cockpit, Max just wants to race. While Lewis crafted himself into a global icon, Max streams iRacing at 2 a.m. This isn't a criticism at all. It's recognition that F1 has 2 all-time greats who couldn't be more different from each other. Today, we're breaking down why Max's path will look nothing like Lewis's, and why that might be exactly what the sport needs. A foundation born into different worlds. Understand why Max will never be Lewis. You have to understand where they came from and how those origins shaped them into the people they are today. Lewis Hamilton's story is motorsport mythology. A working-class kid from Stevenage whose father worked multiple jobs to fund his karting. And that famous moment where young Lewis approached Ron Dennis and declared, "I want to race you one day." Years of sacrifice followed, constantly fighting against the system that wasn't built for someone like him. That journey made him hungry, not for just wins, but for recognition, for respect, and for a platform. When you fought that hard to actually be seen, you don't fade into the background. Max Verstappen was born inside the sport. His father, Jos, was an F1 driver. His mother, Sophie, is a karting champion. And by the time Max could walk, he was being groomed for this sport. The doors were already open. The pressure was already on Max, and it was immense. But it created a different mentality, a different kind of a monster. Lewis races to prove the doubters wrong, while Max races because failure was never an option. That fundamental difference, it colors everything that comes after. And nowhere is that difference more visible than in how they approach their teams. The team builder versus the pure competitor. Lewis Hamilton doesn't just drive for teams, he transforms them from the inside out. And he leaves a lasting impact on the culture. At Mercedes, Lewis became more than their lead driver. He became the emotional and strategic center of the entire operation. He pushed for diversity initiatives. He challenged engineers in hour-long debriefs. And he bonded with every single mechanic. When Mercedes struggled in 2022 and 2023, Lewis, he stayed, he kept morale high, and he built a culture beyond winning. Even now at Ferrari, it's about bringing that winning mentality to Maranello and building something historic. Max Verstappen, well, he operates everything just a little bit differently. He's deeply embedded in Red Bull's technical development, spending hours with engineers dissecting data and pushing the car for improvements. But he's not building a public dynasty around himself. His influence is felt in the garage, in the engineering meetups, in the brutal honesty of his feedbacks. There's no media campaign, there's no grand vision speeches. Red Bull remains Adrian Newey's team, Christian Horner's team, Helmut Marko's vision executed through Max's otherworldly talent. And Max, he prefers it that way. He doesn't need to be the face of a movement. He just needs the fastest car and the freedom to drive it. That same clarity that both of these drivers have defines how they present themselves outside of racing. The global icon versus the guy who just wants to race. Lewis Hamilton has built himself into a brand, a movement, and a cultural force who happens to drive fast cars on the weekends. Fashion Week shows, Met Gala appearances, vegan activism, social justice advocacy, music production, making movies, and even meeting with world leaders. His Instagram looks like a lifestyle magazine. Lewis wants this platform because the ability to influence culture and push for change isn't secondary to racing. It's part of the entire point. Lewis races at the highest level so that he can have the voice to say what matters. Max Verstappen, he posts pictures of his cats. While Lewis is at Met Galas, Max is streaming endurance races at 2 a.m., perfecting his craft in a different way. While Lewis launches fashion lines, Max wears the same Red Bull polo everywhere. Interviews with Max feels like pulling teeth, not because he's rude, but because he doesn't understand why anyone cares about anything other than lap times and cars. Ask about his legacy, and he just shrugs it all off. Ask about his qualifying lap, and you've unlocked an encyclopedia of technical detail. Max's anti-celebrity stance is his own statement. In an age of personal branding, he's chosen to let his driving do all of the talking. This philosophical difference extends to how each of them race on the track. Surgical precision versus calculated aggression. Lewis Hamilton races like a surgeon. Every move is measured, every risk is calculated, and he wins through consistency and perfection over 70 laps. His overtakes are clean, his defense is positional, and his races are kind of like a chess match at 200 miles per hour. Lewis, well, he once went an entire 2018 season without a single collision. That's not luck. That's just philosophy. That's brilliance. He protects his equipment, he manages his tires, and he plays the long game. His speed is controlled and disciplined. He never compromises the ultimate goal. While Max, on the other hand, he races on the edge. He's calculated in his aggression. He places his car where rivals must choose, back out, or crash into me. And his battles feels a bit more intense, more personal. When Max passes you, it feels like he's making a statement. The 2021 season, it crystallized this perfectly. Lewis drove near perfect, making almost no mistakes. Max drove like every race was a championship decider, constantly pursuing and pushing the absolute limit without ever breaking it. Two different approaches to speed, both, well, devastatingly effective. And speaking of different approaches to greatness, if you're fascinated by the personalities and the philosophies that are shaping F1's greatest drivers, then subscribe to The Last Lap. We break down the rivalries and the untold stories that make F1 more than just a sport. Hit that bell icon so you never miss our deep dives. Two paths to immortality. Here's where it all gets interesting. Both drivers will be remembered as all-time greats, but their legacies will be completely different shapes. Lewis Hamilton's legacy extends far beyond F1. When he retires, he'll be remembered as someone who changed the sport's culture, who made the sport as popular as it is today. The first black world champion who pushed for diversity, the activist athlete, the global icon who made F1 matter to millions who never watched these races before. He'll be studied in business schools and referenced in discussions about athlete activism. His impact extends in every direction beyond racing, where Max's legacy will be carved primarily through pure performance. In 30 years, people won't mention fashion or social movements. They'll talk about that ridiculous lap, that impossible overtake, that championship where he won 19 out of 22 races. They'll remember the most complete driver that they ever saw and how he helped legitimize racing as real training. Max will be measured on sporting achievements first, and he's designed it that way deliberately. Lewis built a legacy that will outlive his career. Max is building a legend that lives in record books and the memories of those who watched them drive before. Now, both are valuable, both are authentic to who they actually are. Neither is the right way, just different versions of greatness. And they're both doing it incredibly. The Max versus Lewis debate has transformed from a question of who's faster into a philosophical discussion about what it means to be a great F1 driver. Whether pure racing excellence or cultural impact matters more depends on what you value. And I want to know right now, guys, what do you value? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Who do you think is really the greatest out of these two racers? And which philosophy do you side with? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And also don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. And guys, I'm Ty, and I will catch you on the next one.